In this video, I'm going to show you how to write methods and call methods to get you ready to do the Faces lab. So I'm going to make a new project here and Java with ant and just call this print numbers. And just choose all the defaults as usual. So we're going to go into this public static void main, and let's start by just typing sout tab, and this should turn into a print statement. So I'm just going to have it print once right here, and then I'm going to run it, and I'm going to hit F6 to run it. It didn't print anything. Interesting. I'm not sure why it didn't print anything here. So I just close the file, double click it. There we go. I'm not sure what was going on. Maybe it was trying to run this, what I had in a different program. All right, so we have this. Now I'm going to write a new method down here. Now, public static void main is a method. You could copy this and paste it. And remember, everything that you start, like parentheses, needs to match another parenthesis. So everything needs to be balanced out. You probably discovered this with double quotes. When you start a double quote, you have to end double quotes. Same thing is true when you start a square bracket, you have to end a square bracket. We haven't covered anything specific to that yet, so don't worry about those. Again, these parentheses match. You can also see the color is green, and it's colored in the other one in green also. This curly brace right here matches the curly brace 2 lines below, right there. And if you go all the way down to here, I have to zoom out a little bit, but notice it matches up here at the top. So there's 3 blocks in here, and you can see the blocks represented on the left. There's this thin vertical blue line right here, and one block goes from line 12 to line 29. And there's 2 more blocks inside of this block, and those blocks are this gray vertical line here. That's this block right here. They always are going to start with a curly brace, end with a curly brace. Technically, this is sort of a block here, but let's not worry about those right now. Those are just comments. In fact, you can delete them if you'd like. All right, so again, here's one block, here's another block. Now there is red. Yellow is a warning. It'll still run with yellow, but red will not let you run the program. It's an error. Now, if I put the mouse over the exclamation point, it says method main is already defined in the class print numbers. So we have a method called main. We have another method called main. We're not allowed to do that. So I'm going to call this one print ones. We don't need any arguments here. We're not going to worry about arguments for now. We'll see them soon enough. But that inside the parentheses, we don't need anything there. So I'm going to take those out. So this method is called print ones, and I want to run this method. When I hit play or run up here, it always runs the main method, and the first line of code in the main method is going to print 1111. So first thing, I'm going to replace this with start, and I want to print end at the end. So I'm going to duplicate this line of code. So for me, it's Control-Shift down, and duplicate down, Control-Shift down. That's the command I'm going to use. And then Alt-Shift down moves it down. And you can see pretty much the ones up here are very useful. So print end at the end. Now in between, if I just run it, it should say start end. Where is my error? I don't see an error here. This is acting. No? It should be running. I don't see any red here. Alright, if this behavior... Alright, so that red exclamation point just disappeared without me doing anything. If it doesn't, you can always save it, close it, and then reopen it. That helped earlier with a weird error that didn't go away. Now I see start end. Okay. In between start and end, I want to run this method. So the way we do that is we just have a print ones right here. Type that. You do need parentheses and semicolon. So now it's going to print out start, it's going to run this method, and then it's going to print out end. And in this method, I want to print out some ones. So again, SOUT tab. So I'm going to print my 1111 right in here. And run this again. Alright, something is not working the way it should be. I guess I'll just close it and reopen it every time. If I was running, if I was not recording this now, I'd probably close NetBeans and then reopen it. And if that didn't fix it, I'd restart my computer and hope for the best. But I'm just going to close the file, open it, and run it. Alright, so we got print ones. It just prints some ones. So I'm going to do a very similar method. I'm going to call it print twos, and we're going to print some twos. So again, I've highlighted. You can use the cursor, hold down Shift, highlight, and then Control Shift down to duplicate. So again, they won't let you have the same method with the same name. It'll tell you right here, your method is already defined. You can't have the same name. So I'm going to call this print twos, and I'm going to change it to print twos. So I'm going to call print ones, print twos. You do need, remember the parentheses mean that it's a method. So it's going to run this and print out hopefully 2222. Maybe if I hit build clean it will work. There we go. Alright, so it does print ones, then it does print twos. I could do the same thing with threes and fours, but let's keep this pretty simple the way it is now. So here I'm calling two methods with 2 lines of code. So I'm going to write a new method here on line 25. Now methods, for now, start with public static void. We'll learn more of what these mean later. Void means it's not returning anything. Don't worry about return values yet. Static is too complicated to even explain right now, but you just need it. Technically, you could do without the word public at the moment, but we'll just keep things consistent. If you do mistype, it'll tell you pretty quickly. I'm expecting that third word to be blue. If it's not blue, you likely mistyped it. So I'm going to call this method call methods. So I want this method to call both of these methods in a row. So these 2 lines of code's what I want to be inside of this call methods. I believe you could also click and drag code that you've highlighted. That's another way to move code nicely and easily. So if I save this, build and run, all of a sudden I don't see ones and twos anymore. That's because I changed where I called them to here, but I never actually made this method run. So I want to now run call methods. So now, and also when you put your cursor here, just like with the curly braces, it highlights where it matches. If you put your cursor on a method, it'll highlight where that method appears. So here I've created the method, and it will show me, oh, up here I've called the method. So I'm going to save, clean it, and build it. So now I'm back to 1s and 2s. So again, it prints out start, then runs call methods, which makes the code go down here, goes to print 1s, which is here, comes back. Once it's finished, print 2s, goes to here, prints 2s. All right, I'm going to do print 3s also. You could, of course, copy, Control-C, paste, Control-V. So I'm going to call this print 3s. I'm not being creative here. With the Faces Lab, you're going to print something slightly more creative in here. So I have call methods. I'm going to duplicate this. So copying and pasting. So I'm going to call this one call other methods. Remember, if you just leave it at call methods, you can't do that because there's already a call methods method. So you have to give it a new name. And I want this similar to call methods, just I want to call it slightly different ones. So let's go 3s. 3s, and then we'll go 1s. So I'm going to run call methods, and then I want to run call other methods. And totally reasonable to copy paste if that works better for you. So I'm expecting call methods to print 1s and 2s. Then call other methods going to print 3s and then back to 1s. So clean, build, and run. So there we go. So I got this is from call methods and this is from call other methods. You may want to space things out a little bit. So you can just do Sout tab, Sout tab, Sout tab. Now it looks like I'm printing nothing, but remember this print ln. This ln means a new line. So all this code just prints one blank line. This will print a blank line and a blank line. So it should look really similar, just be spaced out. And that just lets me see, oh, this is what I got from call methods, and this is call other methods. So this layout's going to be similar to your lab. This will be like draw one of the faces, this will be draw another face, and you'll have two more of these methods drawing other additional faces. And then these will be like draw mouth 1, draw mouth 2. I don't know if you need 3 draw mouths, but this will be draw eyes 1. There'll be another method, draw eyes 2. And that should hopefully help you out with your Draw Faces lab.